Since ascending to the throne, Queen Elizabeth accomplished a great deal. She was involved in lots of activities and groundbreaking achievements throughout her reign, and was loved by many. But what most of us never knew about her were some of her secret life accomplishments. So, what kind of achievements are we talking about? And what kind of an impact did they bring to her life and the lives of others? In today's video, we will go through the detailed accomplishments made by Queen Elizabeth II and see if she was the ruler we all thought her to be, or much more. So, let's get started. She was born on April 21st, 1926 in Mayfair, London. She then succeeded to the throne at 25 years after the death of her father, King George VI, on February 6, 1952. In the first ever coronation to be broadcast on television, she was crowned on June 2, 1953, in Westminster Abbey. As the Queen, she became the head of the Commonwealth, and the Queen Regent of 7 separate Commonwealth nations: the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. When she exceeded the rule of her great-great-grandmother, Queen Victoria, in September 2015, she was crowned the Queen of Britain with the longest reign. Her Platinum Jubilee, which coincided with the 70th anniversary of her ascension, was honored on February 6, 2022. To date, she is the longest-serving monarch, and I think it's fair to say King Charles won't be beating her record. Princess Elizabeth was just 13 years old in 1939 when World War II began. The National World War II Museum highlighted that while her father, King George VI, and his wife Elizabeth remained at Buckingham Palace during the Blitz in 1940 in solidarity with the rest of the populace, the Princesses Elizabeth and Margaret were evacuated to Windsor Castle, 20 miles away. Elizabeth experienced a strong feeling of duty as the conflict continued. She reportedly wanted to enlist as soon as she turned 18 in 1944, but the royal family forbade it because it might endanger the heir to the kingdom. Nevertheless, Elizabeth persisted in her efforts despite being repeatedly told no. So when she was just 18, in 1945, she was allowed to enlist in the military. She enrolled in the Women's Auxiliary Territory Service and completed a 6-week auto mechanic training program. Even though this wasn't a combat position, as noted by Time, risks were still involved because at least 335 ATS members died during the conflict. The young princess became incredibly famous due to her love of vehicles and mechanical work, as well as her readiness to serve her country, just like any other person. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II spent her entire life advancing the interests of Commonwealth nations. In 1947, Princess Elizabeth traveled to her first foreign country with her parents, seeing Southern Africa. During the broadcast to the British Commonwealth on her 21st birthday, she declared before all that her whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be committed to service of the people and the great imperial family. Following her coronation in 1952, Elizabeth assumed leadership of the Commonwealth countries, a collection of independent nations that regarded the monarch as the head of state. The Commonwealth currently consists of 15 countries, including Jamaica, Grenada, Australia, the Bahamas, and Canada. These nations are also part of the Commonwealth of Nations, whose head is the Queen. A third of the world's population resides in the Commonwealth of Nations, most of which are African nations. Elizabeth was a queen in a series of monarchs that began in 1066, the year William the Conqueror invaded the island when the Kingdom of England was founded. Vanity Fair did not guarantee that the monarchy would last when her father, King George VI, ascended to the throne following her uncle's abdication. It appeared that the British monarchy would be overthrown early in the 20th century, just like many other monarchies. Although the monarchy was temporarily stabilized under King George VI, Queen Elizabeth was ultimately responsible for its survival. She stabilized the royal family's position by being open to modernization and change. She routinely went on television and addressed the people because she understood that her subjects needed to feel comfortable approaching the royal family. She also embraced new technology. According to Forbes, in 2014, she issued the first royal tweet, and according to history, she was the first monarch to tape her yearly Christmas greeting. She also changed her perspective on marriage and divorce, acknowledging that the latter had become far more prevalent and acceptable in contemporary society, and legalizing several divorces involving royal family members. Queen Elizabeth's cumulative effort in helping many organizations was one of her finest accomplishments. The Guardian makes the case that she was the most charitable monarch in history, putting it very bluntly. In fact, Queen Elizabeth was recognized as one of the world's top supporters of philanthropic endeavors. She reportedly contributed to more than 600 charities in Britain. The Queen made eradicating poverty a primary goal throughout her life, raising billions of dollars in support. Queen Elizabeth took special care to transfer her support to other family members so that charitable organizations would always have the support of the monarchy. The Queen's influence was strongly felt in movements supporting communities and advancing education. These facets of life can offer the assistance and know-how required to assist individuals in escaping poverty. Given their long-standing friendship, it may surprise you how divided the US and the UK have been. The Americans were formerly subjects of the King of England, and the United States of America was once a collection of British possessions. However, more than 200 years after the United States achieved freedom from the British Empire, one of Queen Elizabeth II's greatest triumphs occurred in 1991. She addressed a joint session of Congress that year, according to the Los Angeles Times, making history as the first British queen to do so. Her speech was a big success. She clearly enchanted the American legislators, as seen by the 3 standing ovations she received and a joke about her height. She used her speech to underscore the special connection between the US and the UK, and she was the first monarch of the United Kingdom to address Congress, which is why the Sun Sentinel highlighted the significance of her speech. The Queen's speech focused on fostering ongoing cooperation and a shared set of interests between the two countries, which have a rich history and cultural heritage. Queen Elizabeth's most significant accomplishment was being a reliable, steady ruler, which may not seem like a big thing. Before her ascent, there had been a period of ambiguity. She was just 10 years old when her uncle, King Edward VIII, abdicated, and the kingdom fell into chaos. Her father assumed the role of King George VI, but according to Vanity Fair, he did so very grudgingly since he dreaded the limelight and felt unprepared. George VI could resolve the immediate crisis of confidence by taking the throne, but his kingdom was soon pulled into World War II. According to Britannica, there were genuine worries that Germany may conquer the island after London was devastated. Then, as the nation was recovering from the war, King George VI passed away at a young age, handing the throne to Elizabeth, then 25. According to Forbes, Elizabeth offered the stability required in this post-war era. She provided the nation with precisely what it needed as it emerged from a particularly tumultuous time. She continued to provide exactly what the country needed, as a series of new crises, such as economic difficulties and a declining place in the global arena, descended upon it. According to The Independent, Elizabeth's stability is essential because the need for the royal family is constantly questioned. Many of the previous dominions of the United Kingdom have a violent past. This is what typically occurs when empires attempt to stop people from controlling themselves. However, very few wars have been as cruel and brutal as the one involving the United Kingdom and the Republic of Ireland. According to Britannica, Ireland split into 2 republics after centuries of English rule, when the nationalist group Sinn Féin proclaimed the new Irish Republic. Violence characterized the fledgling Republic of Ireland's relations with its previous imperial masters for many years. Thus, Queen Elizabeth II's state visit to Ireland in 2011 was a fantastic accomplishment. She was the first monarch to travel to the island on official business following its independence. Her solemn appearance at the Garden of Remembrance in Dublin caused a sensation in Ireland as she reverently lowered her head and laid a wreath at the memorial. It goes without saying, she will always remain in our memories. To rule so effectively and without much controversy for such an extended period of time is nothing short of remarkable. So, which of her accomplishments surprised you the most? Was it the fact that she knew her way around a car engine, or that she ruled so effectively for 70 years? Let us know below. If it's more royal family videos you're looking for, look no further than the next video.